Hello and hi friends. I'm welcoming you today to the fifth segment of this thing that I'm calling a podcast. So welcome again. Today is a bit different because this is a totally unscripted and totally raw monologue. And yes, I didn't have anyone to invite to the podcast this week, but I just wanted to share a few thoughts that I had and a story about what happened to me in the last couple of weeks. And it's a shorter version as well, so you're gonna have way more time to spend time with your loved ones and tell them that you love them, and also pet your pets and play your favorite video game. So so you'll be hearing my voice for the next half an hour, and I thank you so much for just listening to this right now. It means a lot to me in a lot of ways. So thank you so much, and yes, enjoy. Hello friends, I think we're doing a different one today. In the past 4 episodes, I've been having conversations with amazing guys, good friends of mine that I'm lucky enough to have met and created somewhat of a bond, and they've been gracious enough to open their parts of their lives and their hearts to what they gotta say, to listen to their stories, to stories that are continuing to develop. That's not just the end, but they continue, and we were lucky enough to listen to them. However, today I have no one to have the conversation with but myself, and I just wanted to let you know or tell you about a few things that have been on my mind during this whole process. And as I told you the other day, that I would, on the last episode, that I would tell you a little bit about my story in the hospital, because I think it was a good one, and I think it's an interesting one too. I see the conversations I have with my friends when I record them as me being in this sea of searching, like I'm just in the waters, and there's different tides, and there's some waves, and there are different things living in the sea, in this ocean, with different depths and all. And I just swim and I go to these little islands that my friends live in which they're building their own huts. And the huts represent the goals that they have, and also their experiences and everything that has shaped them. And their islands are all different, and they all have a different approach how to build their own hut, and I get invited in and welcomed into their island. So far, no cannibals, only gracious and loving people. So today I am just on the ocean looking at the stars. I'm just floating away on this ocean of searching for new knowledge, for new experiences, for new insights, and for new introspection, I think. So just picture yourself. I invite you to picture yourself in the same way, just floating on the sea of knowledge, or the sea of searching, or whatever it is that you are on right now. And just look up and just breathe in and breathe out, and count the stars and look at the clouds, and just be still and listen. So that's what we're gonna do today, I think. All right, so I am 29 years old now. I am 29, and this is a recent event because I turned 29 on the 23rd of June. That's just over a week ago. And during the context that we're in right now, we're still during the pandemic, during COVID-19 in 2020. I am located in Melbourne, Australia, and this week we've had a surge again for cases, and we're leading the cases for Australia right now. We had 77 new confirmed cases today, and yeah, so new quarantines are being put in place in different suburbs, and things are still uncertain. So what I find most fascinating about this, and to contextualize this, is that right now I'm in this room by myself, and it's late at night. It's a Thursday, and you are not listening to this right now. You are listening to this in another time. And does that make it another dimension? I don't know. But maybe you're listening to this, and my circumstances have changed dramatically. Maybe I'm not even alive anymore. Maybe you're listening to this 1 year down the line, 2 years or 3, 10, maybe 50, maybe 100 after a new pandemic has occurred. Something wacko, so something super different. Maybe you're listening to this in another planet, and you are saying, who the hell is this guy? And why is he talking to his device like this? We do it like this right now. We just talk through our lips, and it records instantly through the integrated software that it's in our brain, and it gets uploaded to the cloud instantly, and everyone hears it and knows it because we have super advanced brains. Maybe that's the circumstance you're in right now. If you are, welcome, and much love to you in your own circumstances. If you are in a very similar time frame as me, 2020, maybe living in Australia, maybe living in Chile, or in the US, or in India, or anywhere else, welcome too. And just know that what's happening right now, it's weird. Yeah. And we're all in this thing, and we all have different circumstances. But please just be in this moment. And I think that's one of the biggest learning experiences or gems of knowledge that I've been able to grasp and hold in my palm, is that just be in this moment and breathe in and breathe out. So yeah, how crazy is it that what you're listening to right now, it's already time travel? And actually, if any of my children are listening to this, hello, I love you. And I think about you every single day, even today, even though you haven't been born yet, or you're not in my thoughts, or you are, but you're not existing yet, as far as I know, in this dimension. I don't even have a relationship with your mom yet, so I don't even know who she is. Anyway, we're here right now, and on the 23rd of June, yes, I turned 29, and on the 18th of June, 5 days prior to that day, I started experiencing weird symptoms. So I had a very normal Wednesday, and that night I started experiencing stomach aches around my navel area, and then I spent the entire night with nausea and vomiting and with fever, and it wasn't a pleasant night at all. I actually didn't sleep, and I was just waiting for the the symptoms to go away so I could just sleep, because that's all I wanted. I just wanted to rest. And the day passed, or the night passed, I should say, and a new morning came, and it was 7 a.m. and I was continuing with the same symptoms. So I started getting worried. I started like at midnight with all this, and after the entire night, I started thinking, okay, maybe there's something to this. Maybe I'm sick. So I started paying attention to my body, and I noticed that the discomfort and the pain started migrating to the lower right side of my abdomen. And as many as probably as you know, and maybe some of you have had this before, that's the area where your appendix is located in your body. This tiny organ at the very last part of your digestive system that we don't know what functionality it has. Science, when I say we, I'm talking about science, of course. Science doesn't know for sure what functionality it has. Some say that it's just remnants of our evolutive process, and others say that it still has some functionality in some sort of hormonal basis. Anyway, that area started to ache. So I went to Google and I Googled my symptoms, and yes, I could have two things. Either I had appendicitis or cancer. So I thought that it was more likely that I had appendicitis. So I either that, and I just took myself to the hospital because I didn't want to get that appendix to explode and then get a peritonitis and then have a worse one. So I go to the hospital, St. Vincent's Hospital in Melbourne, and I was examined by the doctors. I got there about 9:30, and I was having a good time there. It was actually pretty cool. I was having fun, and I was in a lot of pain, but I was able to find a position on the bed on the hospital, in which I didn't feel pain because I wasn't moving. So if I didn't move and even if I didn't laugh, I was okay, and I could just be still there and just breathe and interact with the nurses and the doctors and the surgeons. And it was really interesting to learn from them and to try to experience the person behind the role. And that's something that was really interesting for me during my time there. One of the things that was very interesting. So I got examined, and I had a bit of pain, especially when they were examining the area, and they said, yeah, probably you have appendicitis, so we're going to remove it from your body. So please sign this form, and within 5 hours I was getting surgery for my appendix to be removed. It was my first time getting surgery, and it was super cool. I wasn't awake for it though, but it was a lot of fun. It was very interesting to interact with all the people that work in a hospital and how positive they are, and how they try to make you feel very comfortable. Because I think it's quite a bit of it's an interesting experience to allow all this foreign and people that you don't know at all, that you've never seen before, that you trust that they have the title that they have, to just do whatever they think it's appropriate to your vessel, to the vessel of your spirit, to your body. You are literally there, and you just give yourself away in an act of faith and love and total trust. So just for that reason, I think it's a very particular and an impressive experience. You're right there with all these people. They say what they think it's best for your body according to what you're saying that you are feeling in that body, and then they make a decision, and they give you different chemicals that put you to sleep in a very deep state, so deep that you do not feel when they are using their sharp tools to open your body and remove a very part of you, a part of your body, and take it out. And then they just sew you back like a doll. And then you wake up again in this strange place, and you have people that are there to care for you and to make sure that you're all right and that you're not feeling too much pain. And yeah, you just have to trust. And I think that's a very interesting concept, that we actually apply faith to pretty much every day of our lives. And I think that's quite a beautiful thing when we're part of this human experience, especially. Anyway, so I got surgery, and yeah, I woke up. I was happy. I was still happy, and yeah, I didn't feel very weird. I didn't feel much pain, only when I moved. And everyone was very nice. Everyone was trying to make me feel very comfortable. I spoke to the surgeon again, and he was very surprised at the state of my appendix. He said that it was already rotting inside my body, and that I was in the in the amount of people that the appendix is in such state that it doesn't burst. So I think it's a good thing. But it was removed, and he was very surprised that I was not howling in pain, you know? So they spoke to me, said everything went fine, and then that they would give me the all clear for next day. And that's what happened. I spent one night in the hospital, and the next morning I was discharged, and my mom, my beautiful mother, she picked me up. We went for a nice walk because I wanted to walk and move my body and reset. And then we went to eat, and then she brought me home, and I was terribly weak. I was feeling so weak. It's incredible what just that action of, again, people, surgeons, doing this thing in your body and cutting through all the layers of skin and fat and muscle and moving your organs around, it just drains you so much. So to all the people that have had surgery, I feel I kind of understand how it feels, and I didn't have a big one. So I'm back home. And I spent the night last Friday to Saturday at home, and I wasn't feeling great. I was feeling worse than when I still had my rotting appendix in me. And that Saturday was rough because I wasn't able to eat. I had no appetite, no hunger, and I was feeling very bloated and very nauseous, and I started vomiting again, and I started having fever again. And I was feeling awful, really sick. I'm very weak. I'm with pain, and I couldn't eat, and I couldn't even drink water. I was just vomiting everything, and I was getting very dehydrated. So I started getting worried. So I took myself to the hospital again that same night on Saturday. And my doctors and my surgeon came to the hospital that night just because he was so confused at what was happening to me. Because I wasn't meant to be feeling the way I was feeling. Everything went fine, you know. So they were confused, and they were maybe fearing that I had some type of infection or gastro or something else. So they were doing all these tests. And in the end of the night, they put me in a CT scan thing, So I get a CT scan of my body, and they see that my bowel has gone to sleep. And this is what it's called an ileus, when your bowels go to sleep. Basically, the anesthetics and also the fact that my appendix was in such dead shape and just prompted my body to start shutting down. And that happened, so nothing was moving through my gut, and I was just getting very bloated. So what happens in this situation is that they insert a long tube connected to a bag through your nose and into your stomach, and that starts pumping out all the excess that you have in your stomach. And I started feeling way more relieved from then on. Long story short, guys, I ended up staying 4 extra nights in hospital, and I was discharged on the 24th of June, so I spent my birthday in hospital. And I had a great experience. I gotta say, I had a great experience in hospital, and this is why I was very thankful. I was very thankful that I was able to realize that my appendix was playing on me, that I was feeling sick. And even though I don't have a steady source of income at the moment and I'm dependent on welfare, I have the possibility to get myself to a public hospital, and I am able to get surgery done on the same day at a incredibly high health standard, with people that care about what they do, and they were caring about making me feel comfortable and fine, and that I can get the surgery for free, and then get taken care of by the same people. And at the same time, I have surrounding me people that care about me, my housemates that were very worried about me, my family, they were just wanting to be there. My mom, that she immediately was there, and she was with me the entire time. And I am very fortunate to have all the circumstances happen to me. I am lucky enough that I have a phone device that I can stream anything that I want, just so I don't get bored while I'm just laying down resting in a hospital bed. And by the way, I watched The Good Place. Amazing series. I binge watched it in the hospital and I loved it, and it was such a good piece of creation that I was able to see during that time, especially because of the subject that it covers. Anyway, so I was very grateful for that. So that's one of the reasons why I had a great experience in hospital. The other reason is I was very comfortable. I had my own room. And the reason is because they thought I may be contagious because they didn't know what I had. So that's a win for me. Win-win. I had my own room. And I just think it's fabulous that you get cared for when you are in a very delicate and vulnerable state. Like, if I had been born 500 years ago, I would have probably died just from my appendix bursting. Right there and then. End of story for Pablo. 28 years. Done. Finite. You know? But right now, it's just something that happened, and here I am talking to this phone in an empty room to you through time and space. So for that, I'm super thankful. And I keep saying, and something that I thought about is that this is one thing is, this is the best year to spend my birthday in hospital because of coronavirus. I can't have a big party that I would like to have with dancing and breaching social distancing rules with my friends, and drinking, and doing all those fun stuff. This year I can't do it, so all right, let's just be in the hospital. And the other thing is that I think I am the best person, and this is why I'm saying that I'm the best person that this could have happened to, because I know that this seemingly sucky circumstance is something that I'm okay with. And I understand how it can suck, and I understand how it can be seen as a unlucky thing, but I don't see it as like that. I just see it as a circumstance that happened to me, and I just wanted to be open to learn something new. And I learned that I have pretty good tolerance for pain. And I learned that if I just center myself in the moment, I don't get I don't feel desperation. And that's what I was doing. I was just trying to be calm the entire time. I was just trying to be in the moment. And I know it sounds corny, but it's true. I was just focusing on the existence of myself in that very moment. And even though my body was in pain, I was able to lie down and just find a position in which I was comfortable and I was present, and I could breathe in and feel the air go through my nose and my larynx and my into my lungs, and just exhale again, and to repeat that process, and to be there when people were talking to me, and to talk to them with intention. And when I was able to get into that state of mind, I was fine, and I was at peace. And yeah, that was my experience in hospital. I think I'm a very fortunate guy, and as I've told to many of you that know me, is that I say that I'm the most fortunate man in the world, and I still believe that. And I'm very thankful for all of that. And I want to thank publicly my mother. My mom, she's the most beautiful woman in my life, and she's amazing, and she was right there by my side the whole time. And she is someone that has a very deep impact in me. And I love her very much, and I thank you, mommy. And also my siblings that were there, and Chris, my sister's partner, and my friends, my housemates, and that were worried about me, and also the people that are far away, like my dad and my grandma, that were very worried about me. So I appreciate the love that the worry is manifested from, even though I didn't want to worry anyone. So yeah, I consider myself very fortunate to experience this, and right now I'm still healing. My body's still healing. I actually cannot do any type of straining physical activity for another month, which is something that can frustrate me, because I was very keen on getting back to dancing live, like in an actual room with other people, and because the restrictions were lifting just 3 days after my surgery. So I missed out on that, but that's okay. And also that meant that the gyms were opening again, which I also was very interested in getting back to. And but that's okay. I'm investing 4 weeks of having to stop myself, or like taking it easy, so then I can do all the things, so I don't get something worse. So that's part of this. This is part of the story. The main reasons that I wanted tell you this story is because I had to miss out on 1 week of uploading the episode that I had previously recorded with Anna, that I finally was able to upload after I got out of the hospital. If you haven't listened to that episode, I totally recommend that you do. We had an amazing conversation, and I think there's a lot to learn from her. And yeah, so I was feeling very, no, I won't say very, but I was, one of the main things that I want to achieve during this time is to be consistent with uploading an episode a week on every Friday. And that's my main goal. So I was just a bit worried that I couldn't deliver one of the weeks because of my health at that time. I'm glad that I can now. So this is why you're listening to this right now. I want to give you thanks for listening to this, and I want to share with you that I think that many situations suck. Our circumstances suck very much sometimes, and sometimes they're beautiful, and they are everything that we want from this experience of living. And I think that it's important that we welcome both types of situations, that we welcome every single second of our life. Whatever you are living, you are experiencing it, and you will experience it based on how you decodify that it's happening to you. You are the one that decides how you're going to experience whatever it is that is happening to your body or around you, or to your family, or to the people that you love or hate. You're the one that makes that decision at that moment. And that's something that I'm very convinced by, and the more I live, the more certain I feel about this. You are responsible about how you feel, and you need to make little decisions, little habits of how you're gonna receive the information that the universe is throwing at you. And I implore you, and I recommend you, that you choose wisely, that you choose to accept the emotion that you're feeling in the moment, acknowledge it, accept it, and then decide what to do with it. That is something that is possible. That the very second that you are on, it's possible for you to give thanks for the sucky situation, or give thanks for the good situation. That you can actually, instead of just burst in complaining mode, that you can actually stop for a second and ask, what can I learn from this? What can I practice from this? And I think that's deeply powerful and important for whatever it is that we're living. I was able to choose to practice my patience, and I still am practicing my patience through pain, through experiencing pain, physical pain, through experiencing limitations on what I can grab with my hands. Like I can't lift anything over a kilo. I can't pick up the cat that we live with, Slicky, and I have to wait for him to come to me, or I go to him and lower myself down to his level physically, so I can pet him, which is one of my favorite things to do right now. And we can just decide to enjoy the moment that we're in right now. And right now I'm very, very happy to be sharing this with you, if you're still listening. And I want you to know, through the sound waves that my voice is traveling through into my device, through the interweb, out through your device, and through the airwaves in space into your ear canal, and decodified into your brain, that I think that you can do this, that you can live the life that you want to live, that you can be happy during this process, that although not everything is going how we want it, we're still going through it. we're riding a wave and we're learning how to surf. You know, we're riding this wave and we're learning how to surf the perfect wave, and we fall and we just get on the board again, and we try to stand up, and we have to get stronger. Our legs have to get stronger, and we need to get our little muscles that I forgot the name, just to allow us to remain balanced through the big wave, you know. And that's what life is. You will ride the wave, and the more you do it, the better you'll get at it. So just pay attention to your inner thoughts and to your inner dialogue, and how you speak to yourself. And may it be with love. May it be with compassion and kindness, in a way that you would talk to the person that you love the most in the world, like your mother, or even your pet, or your best friend, or your partner. Treat yourself with the same love in your inner dialogue, and don't be too hard on yourself. And thank you again. I hope you have a beautiful weekend or a beautiful day, wherever you are, whoever you are. And yeah, thank you. I'll speak to you soon.